Within like 60 seconds of waking up tomorrow morning, about 80% of you listening right now will have already lost the most important psychological battle of your entire day.
Yeah, the absolute most important one.
Right. You are going to roll over, silence your alarm, and then almost unconsciously, right, you're just going to open your phone.
Oh, the classic morning trap.
Exactly. And in that single, like 3-second motion, you hand over the trajectory of your whole day to the outside world.
It's a really harsh reality to confront.
It is, yeah. Today, we're looking at why that split-second decision doesn't just, waste time. It actually actively destroys your broader long-term goals.
Yeah, because we often treat our mornings as this sort of throwaway time, right?
Yeah.
Like a blurry transition period before the quote-unquote real day begins.
Right, just getting ready.
Exactly. But the research we're diving into today flips that completely on its head.
So, welcome to today's deep dive. If you're listening to this right now, I want you to anchor yourself to a current goal you have.
Could be anything, really.
Yeah, anything. Maybe you're trying to reclaim your physical health or trying to pivot to a new career path, or maybe you're just, exhausted by the feeling of being perpetually behind.
Which is so common.
So common. We are drawing from this incredibly pragmatic source today titled The Architecture of Morning Discipline.
It's a fantastic read.
It really is. And our mission today is to explore the massive, frankly frustrating gap between just setting a goal and actually achieving it, and why the secret to closing that gap might just be hidden in the first 30 minutes after you open your eyes.
Because that gap, between intention and reality,
Mm-hmm.
that's where most people spend their entire lives.
Yep.
The central premise of our source material here is that having goals is functionally meaningless if you don't have a mechanism to execute them when your motivation inevitably evaporates.
Okay, let's unpack this because, we've all been there. It's midnight on a Sunday. You watch some inspiring documentary and you just feel this overwhelming surge of motivation.
You're ready to conquer the world.
Right. You swear you're going to change your life. But motivation is an emotion.
Yes.
And like all emotions, it's tied to your immediate physiological state. So when the alarm screams at 6 a.m. and you're cold and you're tired and groggy.
The worst feeling.
Yeah. That midnight motivation is scientifically incapable of getting you out of bed.
Precisely. Relying on motivation is like relying on the weather to power a sailboat.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Right. It's great when the wind is actually blowing,
Yeah.
but you are completely stranded when it stops.
Totally stranded.
What the architecture of this approach argues is that because motivation is neurologically unreliable, we need a mechanical engine instead.
Mm-hmm.
And that engine is self-discipline.
Okay.
But the text goes a step further and really localizes it. It argues that this discipline absolutely must be anchored in the morning.
See, I have to push back on that localization just a bit.
Sure.
Because, I know plenty of night owls who do their best work at midnight. Why this aggressive emphasis on the morning specifically? Why can't I just build my discipline engine at, 10 p.m. after the house is quiet?
Well, what's fascinating here is the neurobiological reality of a morning versus an evening. The morning represents a true physiological fresh start.
Okay, how so?
So when you wake up after a proper sleep cycle, your brain has literally cleared out adenosine.
Adenosine.
Yeah, it's the neurotransmitter that makes you feel tired. So you are operating with a replenished cognitive battery.
Oh, I see.
By 10 p.m., even if the house is totally quiet, you are carrying the cognitive residue of your entire day.
Oh, wow. Yeah, like all the stress.
Exactly. Every email you answered, every traffic jam you sat in, every minor frustration, they have all chipped away at your executive function.
So the morning is really the only window where you are truly operating from baseline.
Exactly. It's a blank canvas. Think about the architecture of a typical day. The morning is the only sliver of time before the world rushes in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's the time before text notifications, before urgent client emails, and before the endless cascade of unexpected problems demands your attention. Once the day gets going, your attention is hijacked. It is no longer yours.
That makes me think of like a mechanical analogy.
Okay, let's hear it.
If your long-term goal is a destination on a map, motivation's just the spark plug. It gets the engine to turn over.
Right.
But self-discipline is the combustion engine itself. It's the vehicle. And the morning is the only time you can actually perform maintenance on that engine without someone else trying to jump in and drive the car.
That is a highly accurate way to visualize it.
Mm-hmm.
You had to control the vehicle before the chaos of the day forces you into the passenger seat.
Which brings up a really confrontational question from the source material. So if you're listening right now, I really want you to genuinely ask yourself this.
It's a tough one.
It is. What does self-discipline actually mean to you? Are you utilizing your morning window to tune your own engine, or are you immediately handing the keys over to external demands?
And honestly, how you answer that question dictates not just your morning, but your baseline stress level for the next 15 hours.
Yeah. And that leads us to the actual execution, right? We understand the biological and strategic advantage of the morning now.
Yes.
But how are we supposed to spend it? Because I'll be honest, when I read the phrase disciplined morning routine, my eyes immediately rolled.
Oh, I don't blame you at all.
Right. We are so saturated with this toxic hustle culture. Like influencers screaming at us to wake up at 3 a.m.
Take a freezing ice bath.
Yes. Take an ice bath, trade crypto, and run a half marathon before the sun even comes up. It feels exhausting, not disciplined. Do we really need a schedule like that?
It is an entirely fair critique. And the research actually completely invalidates that whole hustle culture approach.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah. The architecture we're looking at explicitly separates discipline from punishment. A disciplined morning routine does not need to be grueling. In fact, if it's too complex, it's destined to fail. The focus in the text is entirely on two specific mechanics: consistency and intentionality.
Consistency and intention.
Exactly. It's not about the intensity of the task. It's about the purpose behind the task.
Let's ground this in reality by looking at the two contrasting scenarios provided in the material. The tale of two mornings, basically.
Yes, this is a great breakdown.
Because I think scenario A is going to sound painfully familiar to almost everyone listening.
Scenario A is the reactive morning. The alarm goes off, the person wakes up, and immediately reaches for their phone to begin scrolling.
The dreaded doom scroll.
The doom scroll, exactly.
But let's look at the actual neurological cause of what's happening there. We treat doom scrolling like a harmless habit, like, oh, I'm just waking up. But what is it actually doing to us before we even get out of bed?
It is devastating to your cognitive baseline. When you reach for your phone first thing, you are spiking your dopamine levels with cheap, unearned stimuli before your brain has even naturally cleared its sleep inertia. More importantly, you're exposing yourself to the news, to other people's curated lives, and to unread messages.
Just a flood of information.
Yes. You are flooding your system with cortisol. You are throwing your nervous system into a reactive fight-or-flight threat state before your feet have even touched the floor.
And the time warp effect is very real with that, too. 30 minutes just evaporate. Then an hour.
Oh, easily.
And the source uses a very specific word to describe how their person feels when they finally stand up. Overwhelmed.
Yep, overwhelmed.
They are chronically behind before the day has even started because their brain has just processed like 1,000 pieces of unrelated high-stress information.
Now, contrast that with scenario B in the text, which is the intentional morning.
Right.
The person wakes up, but instead of reaching for a screen, they take a few deliberate offline actions.
Okay, like what?
Well, they drink a glass of water, they do 10 minutes of light stretching, they review their core goals for the year, and they spend 20 minutes reading a meaningful book.
Notice there are no ice baths there.
No ice bath.
No marathons. Just hydration, movement, orientation, and input that they actually chose for themselves.
And the psychological difference is monumental.
Yeah.
In scenario B, you are preserving the vacuum of the morning. You are asserting autonomy.
Right, you're in control.
Exactly. By controlling your environment and your inputs, you keep your cortisol levels stable. You allow your brain to wake up naturally rather than shocking it into a state of reaction.
So what does this all mean? It means highly productive people aren't necessarily doing superhuman things at 5 a.m.
Not at all.
They are just deliberately choosing activities that support long-term goals, like meditating, journaling, or learning a skill, and they are violently protecting that time from reactive behaviors.
Yes.
It sets the tone for the entire day.
And setting the tone isn't just some cliche, right? It's a measurable physiological state.
Really?
Yeah. If you start your day reacting to chaos, your brain gets primed to look for chaos. You'll spend the rest of the day in a reactive crouch, basically just waiting for the next emergency.
Oh, I hate that feeling.
Right. But if you start your day with calm, intentional autonomy, you carry that regulated nervous system into your afternoon meetings.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Let's look at the micro scale versus the macro scale.
Okay.
Because in the grand scheme of a single Tuesday, the difference between drinking a glass of water and checking Instagram seems totally trivial.
It feels insignificant in the moment.
Exactly. If I scroll social media for 20 minutes today, my life doesn't collapse. If I read a book for 20 minutes, I don't magically get a promotion.
True.
So why does the source argue that scenario B is the absolute ultimate dividing line between success and failure?
Because it forces us to look at the hidden physics of human behavior. Momentum and compounding.
Right, compounding.
We drastically underestimate the power of compounding actions. The text draws a direct parallel to financial investments.
Oh, I love this analogy.
It's so clear, right? If you invest a tiny amount of money every single day, the daily change in your net worth is imperceptible. You don't even notice it. But over a decade, it grows into staggering wealth.
It's the exact same mathematical principle applied to neuroplasticity and personal growth.
Exactly. When you repeat an intentional action every morning, you are myelinating neural pathways in your brain.
Wait, myelinating?
Yeah, you are literally wiring your brain to make that action easier and more automatic over time. Good habits compound. But the danger, and the reason we usually quit, is that the results are agonizingly gradual.
We want the cinematic movie montage.
Of course we do.
We want to read one book for 20 minutes and wake up tomorrow speaking fluent Spanish. We crave immediate dramatic feedback.
And when the universe doesn't give us that immediate feedback, we just assume the habit isn't working.
Yeah, we think, well, that 20 minutes of reading was a waste of time.
Right. But self-discipline isn't built in a single dramatic leap. It is built one agonizingly ordinary decision at a time. And as those decisions stack up, day after day, they generate momentum.
Momentum is the great equalizer. It's the force that keeps an object moving once it starts.
Yeah.
If you win the first hour of your day, your brain subconsciously categorizes you as a person who succeeds.
It changes your identity.
Exactly. It becomes easier to make the right choice at lunch than the right choice at 3 p.m. because you are already in motion.
You aren't forcing yourself through willpower anymore. You're letting the momentum carry you.
This brings up another critical question from the source that I want you, the listener, to process right now.
I have a good one.
Do you believe discipline is more important than motivation? Think about it. Motivation might get you to buy the running shoes on day one.
Sure.
But it's discipline, that stubborn trust in the math of compounding, that gets you to lace them up on day 100 when it's raining and you haven't seen any weight loss yet.
It's so true.
You have to stay on track and trust that the biological and psychological investments you are making every morning are accumulating, even when you can't check the balance of your personal growth account.
It requires a really profound level of delayed gratification.
Okay, but let's get ruthlessly practical for a second.
Let's do it.
I can sit here and logically agree that compounding habits lead to success. I know that doom scrolling spikes my cortisol and ruins my baseline.
We all know it.
Yet knowing all of this, why is it still so unbelievably difficult to actually do the right thing when that alarm goes off? Why do I still hit snooze?
It's the ultimate question.
The source reveals a tactical truth here that shifted my entire perspective.
Yeah.
The battle for the morning is actually won the night before.
This is where we move from theory to actual survival tactics.
Right.
To understand why we fail in the morning, despite our best intentions, we have to examine a psychological phenomenon called decision fatigue.
Decision fatigue.
Yeah. Your brain operates like a battery. Every single choice you make drains that battery.
Ego depletion. Right?
Exactly. And it doesn't matter if it's a massive decision like signing a mortgage or a micro decision like choosing between a blue shirt or a black shirt.
It all costs energy.
They both draw from the same well of cognitive energy. If you wake up and your brain immediately has to process 10 micro decisions, what to wear, what to eat, where your gym shoes are, what task to tackle first, you are rapidly depleting your battery before you've accomplished anything meaningful.
The source refers to this as friction, and I think friction is just the perfect word.
It really is.
When we wake up, we are groggy, our sleep inertia is heavy, and our willpower is at its absolute lowest.
The lowest point of the day.
Right. The brain is an energy-saving machine. It will automatically look for the path of least resistance. If I wake up and I have to decide what workout to do, and then I have to go hunt for my headphones, well, that is friction.
So much friction.
And the moment my brain encounters that friction, it's going to say, you know what? Let's just stay in bed and check email. That's zero friction.
The primary goal of a routine, therefore, is to provide structure.
Yeah.
Because structure engineers a completely frictionless morning. You have to remove the decision-making process entirely. The architecture of discipline dictates that highly successful individuals do their thinking the night before, when they are awake and their battery is full.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
They lay out their clothes, they plan their top 3 priorities, they organize their workspaces, and set up the coffee maker.
You are essentially being a good manager for your future self.
Exactly.
Your evening self does the strategy. Your morning self just acts as the employee who executes. You wake up, the clothes are there, you put them on, the book is on the table, you open it.
No thinking required.
Right. The priorities are written on the notepad, you review them. There is no mental negotiation because the decisions have already been made.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this kind of aggressive preparation offers a psychological benefit that goes far beyond just saving time.
What's that?
It constructs a localized environment of control. Let's be honest, life is inherently unpredictable and often chaotic. You might step out of your house and immediately face a delayed train, a difficult client, or a family emergency.
Things you have absolutely zero control over.
Precisely. You cannot control the storm. But when you begin your day with a frictionless, intentional routine, you establish a fortified foundation.
A foundation, yeah.
By executing those early commitments to yourself, you generate a deep, internal proof of competence. You prove that you can govern your own actions.
Wow.
When the inevitable chaos of the day strikes at 11 a.m., you don't shatter because you are anchored by the victories of your morning. You are able to navigate the difficulties from a stance of grounded resilience rather than a stance of reactive panic.
I know what some of you are thinking right now. You're listening and thinking, look, I have 2 toddlers, a dog that needs walking, and an hour commute. My morning isn't a serene, blank canvas. It's a war zone.
A very real scenario.
Very real. But that is exactly why this preparation isn't just a luxury for the hyper-productive. It's a survival tactic. If your morning is naturally chaotic, reducing decision friction the night before is the only way you survive without burning out by noon.
It becomes even more vital the less time you have.
Before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to toss 2 final prompts from the material your way, directly to you listening. Really chew on these today.
They are great questions.
First, what changes would you like to make to your morning routine? Look at your current morning realistically. What is one source of friction you can eliminate tonight?
Just one small thing.
Yep. And second, how can technology help or harm your self-discipline? Is it a tool that reduces friction, like an audiobook queued up, or is it a trapdoor that drops you into reactive doom scrolling?
Identifying the trapdoors is always the first step to avoiding them.
So, to synthesize everything we've unpacked today, self-discipline is not the dramatic, cinematic transformation we've been sold.
No, it's not.
It is not about making one extraordinary, perfect decision or having a grueling schedule. It is the quiet, unglamorous process of making ordinary decisions consistently.
Consistency is everything.
Every single morning is a reset button. It's a new chance to focus, improve, and be a little better than yesterday. Your future is shaped by what you do consistently, not occasionally when you feel a burst of inspiration.
And exploring that idea of systemic consistency brings up one final, somewhat counterintuitive thought I really want to leave you with.
Oh, I like this part.
We spent this entire time analyzing how a disciplined routine creates a foundation of control against life's unpredictability.
Right.
But consider this. What if the ultimate test of your self-discipline isn't just how perfectly you follow your routine when life is calm?
Okay.
What if the true measure of discipline is how quickly you can forgive yourself and reset when life inevitably forces you to break it?
Oh, wow.
Does true discipline require the flexibility to simply try again the next morning without carrying the heavy, paralyzing guilt of yesterday's failure?
That is such a brilliant reframe because the engine of discipline is going to stall out sometimes.
It absolutely will.
You are going to oversleep or get sick or cave and just scroll your phone. True discipline isn't pretending the engine never breaks down. It's having the grace and the tools to reboot it the next day.
Without punishing yourself.
Without punishing yourself, exactly. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Take these ideas, keep learning, keep growing, and start building the habits that create the life you want, starting tomorrow morning.